Ever felt like you're in the waiting room of life, like this big waiting room? We'll get into the metaphor here, but that is me right now. And I'm wanting to talk about this because maybe some of you are feeling the same. So I've been building this LinkedIn I've been doing consulting forever, but building this LinkedIn consulting page, my real estate, the job search, corporate world, all these doors are cracked, but nothing is fully open. So this episode isn't just about me. It's about all of us who are finding ourselves just waiting and wondering what is going on. Welcome back to Off Limits. I'm happy you're here. I'm your host, Ellen Roers, and we talk about all things that are possible. Nothing is off limits when you're living on purpose. So let's talk about the waiting room metaphor first. So those uncomfortable chairs, the clock is ticking. There's people kind of staring at each other or on their phones. And you're just like, all right, when is my name going to be called? I checked in about 30 minutes ago. There's all these people that checked in after me. They're still going. You're just like, what is going on? And I wish it was as simple as just being concerned about a waiting room, but it's just kind of a nice metaphor, right? So I want to tie that in for all of you listeners. Whether you're waiting for a job callback, maybe you're going through a divorce and you're trying to go through the legal rigmarole. I've never done that. I'm sure it's very overwhelming. Maybe you're in a temporary space. I've just had a friend that has gone through, a divorce and having to move spaces and living somewhere temporary before they get their real home. I mean, so many things that we all go through. Waiting for love. Maybe you feel like, you've just been healing your heart after a heartbreak and you're wondering, what is my chance here? Maybe you're waiting for a sweet baby and you have been hoping and praying and it's just, you're still in the waiting room waiting to be a mom or a dad. I would just want to reassure all of us that waiting doesn't mean time is wasted. It's just this in-between season and it's prepping and preparing us for something bigger and better. And I know that sounds simple. It's maybe easier to say it than to actually go through it. But this podcast today is really about that crazy season when we're all waiting and we're wondering what is going on, what is going to happen. And, you really have to have a lot of patience. So there's this multi-passion myth that I also wanted to talk about. And let me know if you're one that has multiple passions. And, you always hear people say, oh, you really just got to focus on one thing, or the rest is just going to fall apart. And there might be some truth to that. I agree. There's a lot of truth to that. But what if you are a little more better at the juggling act and you have these passions and you don't know which one you want to do? So you're just kind of figuring it out. You got all these balls in the air. I know that's me right now. I'm juggling with some of the consulting, my real estate, my corporate. I have a lot of, maybe it's that master of none. What is it? The jack of all trades, master of none. There is that too. But why I'm bringing this up is you might be juggling some things right now. Maybe you're juggling as a parent and you're trying to build a business, or maybe you're juggling trying to go through new transition with jobs, or you're building, something bigger and better, or maybe you're in transition with building a house and you're trying to focus on your career. There's all of these things that we're all juggling at once, and this is okay. You are not going to falter for juggling multiple balls in the air. And I say this because I think a lot of times when we just show up and we just try to get through the day and we know, okay, these are the things that I'm looking at right now. This is what's in front of me. This is what I need to get through. That's okay. That's not failure. Multiple lanes are really training grounds. It's going to help you to figure out what is the best path. There's multiple routes that we can take. And sometimes the best path is the path that's unknown. And so as you just keep going day to day, it'll start to come to fruition. And so, like I said, I've been 4 months on this journey of without a corporate role. I've always had the consulting since my radical sabbatical in 2020 was laid off. And so I started a consulting that I've always had on the side, mostly with GuidePoint and a few other companies. But now I've just converted my LLC into an S Corp because there's going to be a little bit more with one of the consulting opportunities I picked up. They wanted corp to corp. So I need to have my own payroll and filing the quarterly taxes. It's a little bit different to run an S Corp versus an LLC. So I'm learning all of this stuff as I go. And initially I was like, you know what? I don't even know if I want to take this gig because it seems complicated. It's throwing me off. And then I thought about it. I'm like, no, this is the perfect time to do it because I don't have my full-time corporate job. I have more time to digest this, figure out intuitive QuickBooks, or is it not intuitive. It's called QuickBooks, right? QuickBooks. I'm getting an accountant that can help train me in some of these things because I've never paid myself or done payroll. And why I bring this up is because no matter what season you're in, whatever you're trying to figure out, be patient with yourself and just say, you know what, I can figure this out. There is something every day just to showing up, and that's where the magic happens. So one of these things too I wanted to bring up is our masculine and feminine energy in this waiting moment. And now, men, you have feminine energy, women, you have masculine. I will say I've talked about this a lot on my channel because I think it's really important. And when I say masculine and feminine, it's just you think of masculine energy is more leading, penetrating, driving. Can even think about the intimacy. Men penetrate, women receive. So on the feminine side, same thing in work, life, love, whatever it may be, our feminine energy needs to come into play sometimes because I'll tell you, I've been so much in my masculine, applying for jobs, figuring out this S corp, figuring out what am I going to do if I can't pay my condo or where I live right now. Am I going to have enough money coming in? You know, when you're missing out on a full paycheck for me, it's overwhelming. I'm definitely overwhelmed. So masculine, masculine, masculine for me. I've just been pushing, driving, leading. It's like I feel overwhelmed. And for a feminine woman, it is a hard time to be in masculine all the time. So what I'm telling myself is, you know what? You need to get into the moment of receiving. You need to get out and have some fun. You need to be pushing less, receiving more, rest, trust, let go, because it's been push, push, push. And it's like, I just had a episode on this about squeezing sand in your hand. And if you're squeezing too hard, it sometimes falls out faster than if you just lightly hold it. My microphone's going all over the place. And speaking of fun, you probably noticed if you're watching the podcast on YouTube, hey, how are you? I'm dressed up with a place to go. I am actually going to have some fun. I'm coming out of the tower, letting my hair down. That was one of my episodes, right? The tangled one. I'm going to have some fun with some girlfriends. And typically I would say no because I'm always trying to grind and figure out the next move. I'm like, oh, I got to do my YouTube. I've got to do a podcast. I've got to apply. And I'm like, you know what? You got to chill. So some of you might be out there grinding and not having fun either. Like, what is the point of life then? Right. I thought about it. I'm like, I've had 4 months off and I haven't done a lot of fun because I've been so tied up in trying to create something. And sometimes I think if I would have just went and had a blast with my family's vacation, or I had my extended family's vacation in Iowa, I skipped it because I was stressing and preparing for a job interview that I never got. I didn't get the job. So I'm like, what a waste. I could have went and had fun with my family. And instead I stressed about a corporate job that I never ended up getting. So even today, when my girlfriend said, hey, you want to go to the Vikings on Saturday? It's preseason game. They're playing the Patriots. I just found out. Love the Patriots too. Let me know if you're a fan. But for me, it's just something different to get out. And it's fun to feel the energy of the crowd, of something new. And I'm going to encourage you too. If you have been in the grind and you've put your head down, this is your sign. This is your just your permission slip. We hear that all the time. Your permission slip to go have fun. I just feel like sometimes we need a pause, and that is our feminine energy. Trust, receive, rest. There's a time for masculine. We get to hustle, grind, control, but sometimes you got to let your hair down. Check out that podcast too if you haven't heard that one. So the best kind of medicine is laughter with your friends. And this group of girlfriends, I love it because they make me laugh. They are hilarious. It's just belly laugh. It's their positive, good energy to be around. And so some days I was like, that medicine is even better than I was chatting with my sister the other day. I'm like, maybe I need some Adderall. I think this whole thing for me, I'm ADD. I can usually juggle a lot, but there's so much on my plate right now. I was like, maybe it's time to calm my anxious brain down. But then I was like, nope. Came back to the fact that presence, laughter, being in the moment, letting go, trusting, resting, relaxing is the real medicine. Okay. So I want you to remember that. So let's talk a little bit about when we're in this waiting room, what do we do? What are the practice tools? Well, one of the best things to get stagnant energy going is movement. So whether it's just going on a walk, fresh air, nature, birds have a different vibration that really help us to just be the best versions of ourselves. I know it sounds crazy, but I've done a lot of research on the healing groundwork frequencies, and it's amazing what the frequency that birds deliver. So when you hear the birds chirping, You're going to feel great. Get out and do some somatic exercises, stretching. And again, the earthing or the grounding is a big thing. Sometimes getting one of those special blankets is key, the sheets, or just sitting on the grass by a tree is going to help you. Getting some vitamin D, sitting in the sun. Sun is so good for us. Breathing is one of the best things we can do. And that diaphragm, the box breathing, size, slowing down. Another really good one. I know the ears, if you look at the shape of our ears, are the shape of a baby's fetus, which is pretty cool to think about. So there's a lot of stress relievers in the ears, and you can start at the top, just wiggle them for 20 minutes if you're or 20 minutes, 20 seconds. If you're watching me on the video, you can see that it's the top, it's the middle, and then it's the bottom. It's amazing what type of relief that can bring you. I know it sounds crazy, but again, getting outside, having some fun with your friends and community, letting yourself laugh, enjoy, journaling, prayer, quiet time. And then just knowing that the quiet time is okay. Like sometimes for me, when I am overwhelmed, I'll just lay on the couch, take a 15 to 20 minute, not even a nap. I just close my eyes. I focus on my breathing. I focus on something that I hear in my unit, whether it's the air conditioning, something very dull that just gets my brain off of everything else that I'm thinking about. So those are some of the things you can do when you're wondering what's happening. Am I going to get this baby? Am I going to get a job? Am I going to get through this divorce? Am I going to find Mr. Right or Mrs. Right? What's going to happen next in this glorious time of waiting? And if we can find the time of waiting as a hidden gift, that's when the magic again really happens. I mentioned that this is a magical time, and I say magical time with carefully because I am really tired of it, to be honest. I'm just doing this because I want to encourage somebody else, and I'm encouraging myself. So I thought, you know what, sometimes the best way for me right now to talk about the Off Limits podcast, or to talk on the podcast, is to really share some of the things I'm personally going through, because it's been a crazy journey. And I know we all go through this. So the gift of the waiting room, let's talk about it. Waiting really forces you to face what's real. It allows you to really go deep. Like I have looked at it and thought, well, maybe the corporate thing isn't for me. I'm starting to question that. Maybe God wants me to do more and go on my own and be solo, because I've been doing it a little bit, but I haven't fully taken the deep dive because I've been fearful of it. I enjoy having a base salary. I enjoy my 401k. I enjoy the health insurance, but there's ways around all of that. So, and then creating an S Corp, there's a lot of great tax benefits. So this is just my example, but think about it in your situation and know the gift of waiting strips down the distraction, and it shows you what you miss, what you love, and what you really want. So that is where I also thought, if I can enjoy more of this time off, 4 months, I should have been traveling. I still have Alaska to go for my last 50th of the states. I mean, instead of me enjoying it, I've been go, go, go. And this is my sign to myself that no, it is time to have a little bit more joy in the waiting. So reassure, I want to reassure you, you are not behind. This is just a formation, and waiting is not a punishment. I did a video on that too, not too long ago. This is really your preparation time. So just, look at it in a positive way. It's all about the mindset. So some of those things I want to point out or have you reflect on is, if you feel like you are in a waiting room right now, one, I want to say you're not alone. We've all been there. Everybody's been there. We all get through it. Maybe you're even pregnant right now and thinking, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can wait another couple months. Maybe you're 6-7 months in, your feet feel full, you feel tired, you're just ready to have that baby. Well, you know what? It's going to happen. You just enjoy this moment of you time and know that sure enough, you're going to be out of that waiting room soon. So some reflective questions. What waiting room are you in right now? And what is it teaching you? And how could you reframe this pause, this waiting room pause, as preparation? What is it preparing you for? Is it teaching you something about, for me, I'm learning a lot more about maybe overspending, because I would have money and I'm like, I'll make more. I'm going to go buy that beautiful jewelry I want. I'm going to go buy the car that I want. And now I'm thinking, when you're making money, it's fine to go buy things. Maybe I should have put more of that in my nest egg. That's something I'm learning. I'm going to be a little more due diligent with my financial spend, because, I believe in abundance, but sometimes, I guess, I had enough saved for 6 months, but not 8. So now I'm like, do I do I sell some of the things that I don't need, that I love? And I'm like, no, I'll be fine. But what is this pause teaching you? What are you learning? Mine is a big ego bust. I have learned a lot too about, it's very humbling because typically it's been very easy for me to find a job, and I'm super excited about the consulting gig and all of the other things I'm doing. But again, it's very humbling to get all these rejection emails like, oh, we got a lot of great candidates and you're just not it. And so you just kind of have to dust off just dust yourself off. I feel like I've fallen flat on my face a few times. And then I want to say, let's think about, where could you invite more feminine energy into your role? Even if you're a woman going through this right now, maybe you need to put more of your feminine side into all of this. And if you're a man and you're driving, definitely take some time to go have fun with your friends. Go golf or go fishing, whatever you love to do. Get outside, enjoy nature, go hang out with your buddies. Just trust, play, be present, and just enjoy your week. And know that it's okay to be in this waiting room, the waiting room of life. We've all been there. And it just means that something better is going to happen. So if this podcast resonated with you, I'd love for you to share it with a friend. I'd love for you to like, comment, let us know what you're thinking. What are you waiting on? I'm going to send you such good vibes and love. Don't forget to follow along for more mindset, money, and meaning, because again, we know that nothing is off limits when you are becoming the next best version of yourself and when you're living on purpose, even if you don't always know what that purpose is. It's okay. All right. Sending you so much love. I am going to go have fun with my girlfriends at the Vikings game, and I will see you next week. And hopefully I'll be out of the waiting room next week because I'm at least having a little fun in my life. All right. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.